my girlies, welcome to Bookmas Day 5. Today we are yapping about winter books. We're gonna talk about books I've read, books I want to read, you shouldn't read in my opinion, also books I regret buying. The books are not specifically Christmas themed, but they all have this wintry vibe about them. Let's just start with books I read last winter in the holidays. Guys, In the Holidays is my very first Christmas book, and it was a 5-star read. It was giggly, it was heartwarming, it had a little bit of magic. Friends to Lovers, quite good, I might add. Overall, immaculate vibes. Immaculate vibes, honestly, very wintry. So we have this girl that always spends Christmas with her family and her family friends that have 2 boys. So they've all been friends for as long as she can remember. My mind is a little bit of a blur, but from what I remember, she was always expected to be with one of the brothers. She kissed him, didn't like it, and she was kind of lying to herself all the time. And then the day before Christmas, from what I remember, it just starts again. So we have a time loop sort of situation in which she needs to figure out how to get out of it. I don't know if it's because it was my first Christmas book, but I just fell in love with it. I haven't read many Christmas books, but I haven't found one I liked as much as that one. In the Holidays is definitely a very good Christmas book. It doesn't have spice, it's mostly closed doors. There's only one tiny scene, but nothing smutty or anything like that. So I would definitely recommend In the Holidays. And guys, if you have any recs similar to In the Holidays, I want them. Please, please, I want all of them. I also read Nosferatu last year, and the name is written, you'll see here, N0S4, something like that. And Joe Hill is actually the son of Stephen King. I haven't read any Stephen King books, but I really liked Joe Hill's one. I didn't really know what happened in the book. It's a sort of thriller, sort of horror, weird vibes. It was a wintry fever dream, but I was down for the ride. Some objects hold magic. This girl can use her bicycle to jump through space. And then there is this evil guy who steals the souls of kids. I can't really tell you what happens, but they have a conflict later on when she's an adult. It was such a weird book, but at the same time, I was all in for it. I didn't know where we were going to get. I didn't know why we're going there, but I liked it. It was intriguing. It was very different from anything else I've read. If you want a spooky, horror, weird, unexpected book, this might be one you'd like. Also, very vivid description. I'd say it was a 4-star, I think. Yeah, probably 4 stars. With One Day in December, I have mixed feelings, and I'm gonna tell you why. The book has insta-love, but that's not a problem. They see each other in the bus stop, but they don't talk, and she keeps thinking about him for a really long time, until one day, her best friend comes home with her new boyfriend, who's exactly the guy she's been dreaming about for a long time. So the book happened on a 7-year timeline, and I liked it, but I felt like they were so stupid for not talking. And I really hate miscommunication in books, and it gets me on my last nerve when people decide not to say their feelings or ignore their feelings, hoping that it will go away. It never goes away! I'm sorry, I got a little bit angry, but it never freaking goes away, okay? If you have some feelings and they are really strong, why would you not talk about it? Talk about it with your friend, because if you're not gonna talk about it and you're just gonna let it be like that, you are disrespecting your friend by not telling her that, you know, this is the guy I was talking to you about. We are lying, you know? Do you see I'm still worked up on this thing? I liked the book. I liked their connection. I really didn't like their decisions. And I felt like they were really stupid decisions. But a lot of people love it, and I feel like it redeemed itself towards the end. But I don't like how the best friend is treated at all. And it's just, I think you've got the vibe. A lot of people love this book. I liked it, but at the same time, I was really annoyed with it. So at first I gave it 5 stars, then I reconsidered and I gave it 3, and now I think it is a 3.5 star. I suppose you say it further in French. I don't remember much from this book. I read it 2 years ago, and it was one of the very first books I've ever read from what I recall, and I really liked it. It was a little bit spicy, and we have this girl who falls in love with a little bit of a bad boy snowboarder competition guy. She needs to take care of this cabin. We had cozy vibes, we had yearning and slow burn. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite books ever, but from what I remember, it was a pretty decent, entertaining, wintry vibes book. So you could give it a try if you don't really know what to read this year. I haven't heard people talking about this one, and I don't remember how I found out about it. So the next one is A Court of Sugar and Spice, and I picked up this one thinking it is a Sarah J Maas book. I don't know how I could miss it, but I was convinced it was just a spin-off from her series. And you know what? I wanted to start with something light, and I thought this would be, like, if it's a spin-off, it's a nice start to the Sarah J Maas world. And I started reading and reading and reading, and my mind was thinking, what the heck is going on in this book? We have two sisters, they end up in this fairy tale world. I don't remember how, but they find a fae? Two faes? Something like that, a king and a fae, and it is the smuttiest book I have ever read. Somehow they fight some rats, and they end up in the king rat's den, where they all need to bang each other to create a diversion. The king rat's ding dong is described. One of the faes apparently tasted different every time, and that's his power. That's basically it. Was it entertaining? Yeah, I'd say it kind of was. Again, a different type of fever dream. Very smutty. If you want something and you don't really know what, but you want it to be smutty, just pick up this one. You know what you're getting into. If you want that, just read this. But it's not a Sarah J Maas book. While I was reading it, why does everybody love Sarah J Maas? Like, okay, some might like this book, but like, everyone loves this? I mean, okay. The next one is Icebreaker, and I know most of you have read this book already. I read it in one sitting, so that is a good sign. But do I think it's a good book? Not really, no. The Spice was really cringe. I did like Nolan was his name? Nathan. Stassi was nice as well. None of the characters were unlikable except for her skating partner. I forgot his name. That bitch. Oh my god, I hated him. I wanted to dive in that book and strangle that little shit. The conflict was too childish and simple in my opinion. It was a fun book, yeah, not bad. I read it in one sitting, so I feel like that matters a little bit. Next, let's talk about some romantasies that give off wintry vibes. And we have the Caraval series. Now, I've only read the first one, Caraval, and even though we don't have snow and all of that, it just screams winter for me. If you want to get into this series, I feel like winter is the best season to do that. We have two sisters that are in a really dysfunctional family. They only have their dad, and they've always heard about Caraval, which is a once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show. One of the sisters, Scarlett, has been sending Legend, the organizer of Caraval, letters so that they will get invited someday, and now finally he has answered, and they are running away from home to attend Caraval. But Donatella, the other sister, gets kidnapped by Legend. The thing is, we don't know if Caraval is real or not, and there are a lot of plot twists waiting for you in the second half of the book. This has such a unique writing style and setting. Stephanie Garber has this way of writing that makes everything feel like a fairy tale. Also, these covers are the most beautiful ones I have ever seen. A lot of things happen without the reason because there's magic going on. I suppose we're gonna find a little bit more in the second book. And it is a little bit slow in the middle. Some people say the pace is a little bit off there, and I can agree. But I feel this is nonetheless worth it, regardless of it being a little bit slow at times. How much did I give this? I think I gave it 4 stars. something like that. A Court of Frost and Starlight, which you can read only if you've read the first 3 books of the ACOTAR series. I'm gonna go real quick through this one. I'm gonna be honest, this is a filler. You don't need it to read the series. It's a nice addition. It's wintry, it's cozy, and anything with Rhysand and Feyre, I want it injected into my veins, honestly. So yes, I recommend reading this. If you don't, it's not a big deal, but it was my least favorite. The other ones are way better, but it is a really good one. Also, the first book is a bit wintry too. 6 of Crows. Everyone is crazy about this book. Most of the story takes place in winter. The city they're at is very frozen and cold, and the city they go to in their journey is also very wintry. So obviously it's a good choice if you want winter vibes. Everyone is telling me to read this book. Sarah Caroli reads it every winter. And after the flop I'm going to talk about real soon, I feel like this is a must. I feel like this might save it for me. I think I am convinced I need a good fantasy winter book. And I'm gonna read this December. If you're like me and haven't read this yet, it's about Icebreaker, a criminal prodigy that's been offered a chance at a heist, and he needs a team. He finds other people to join in, and if they succeed, they win a lot of money, but it is very deadly and dangerous, and no one expects them to succeed. Yeah, no, I'm sold. If you haven't read this yet and your TBR is flexible, you can read this at the same time with me and we can talk about it in January. Some say The Serpent and the Wings of Night gives off wintry vibes. I disagree. That is not what I got from it. I thought it was summer, so it is a good book, but I wouldn't say it's wintry at all. Now let's talk about the books I got for this December, and I have some strong opinions to share. Let's start with the best one I've read so far this December, and that's Good Spirits. Everyone was crazy about this book. Everyone wanted to know, is it good? What's going on with the hype around it? And I'd say it wasn't overhyped. It was really a very Christmassy, cozy book. We have Nolan, the Ghost of Christmas Past, and what's her name? Harriet, a girl who is a good person. So why is Nolan haunting her? Because Nolan usually hunts really bad people. And when they're going through her past, they realize that there are things that link them to each other. Very cozy, very Christmassy. We have a lot of banter between them. Nolan is a very sweet ghost. Very horny one as well. Very horny ghost, I might say. Mr. Ghost, you need to calm down from time to time. Though it is understandable because he hasn't had any action in 1,000 years. So it's understandable after all. Would I recommend this? Yeah, absolutely. It was a fun read. It was quite spicy for my liking. I don't like it to that extent. Too descriptive. You can watch the 24-hour reading challenge if you want to get more on that. But also I cried at the end. I forgot. I cried a little bit at the end. Very wholesome. Let's talk about these two. I bought them because they're really tiny and I wanted some shorter stories. I realized that I can't actually read this one because this is a sequel to The Appeal. So I didn't read it. I don't think I will very soon because I need to read The Appeal and I don't feel like doing that right now. So I don't know what to say about this one, but The Christmas Guest. Well, this was unexpectedly good. It's a thriller and the plot twist got me by surprise. I didn't expect that. So we have this American girl that studies in English and she gets invited to spend Christmas at this posh family. They are rich, okay? They have a manor and all that. And we are reading her diary and finding out what happened during that Christmas holiday. I'm not gonna say anything more, but I liked the main character. I related to her up until she was really creepy at some point. But other than that, I really liked the book. It was 3.5 stars, I think, maybe 4. Since it is such a short book, it did have an impact. Being this short, I think that's important. Yeah, I think if you want a thriller and a short book, this is a very good option. Now finally, we are getting to the book I wanted to rant about. And that's How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. My God, do I hate this book. Do I hate this book. I actually wanted to do a reading vlog for Bookmas this year, and I started with this book, and I realized I do not want to touch this anymore, and I don't even want to read the other Christmas book I bought right now, because I am too Where is it? Oh no. Huh? Oh, the other one fell. Because I'm just too annoyed. In those 60 pages I read, I dog-eared the book so much. I'm sorry. I know some of you don't like this, but I dog-eared it like 10 times because I found scenes that felt off. The tone of the book was supposed to be lighthearted, a lot of jokes, story, the FMC is kind of, I don't know, sassy, maybe, but for me, it was just plain rude. I didn't laugh. I didn't think it was funny. I haven't ever found an FMC that was more unlikable than this girl. First and foremost, she was supposed to be the one to take care of their aunt. But her sister didn't trust her to be serious enough and capable enough to take care of her aunt, so she had to get off from work as a nurse so that she can be the one to actually take care of their aunt. Even though Story was the one to do it, but she was bitching around and whining. She ended up not taking care of her aunt. She is painted in this light that she's carefree and interesting, while her sister is a stuck-up bitch, basically. And the only stuck-up thing I could see is the carrot that was stuck up in this girl's ass. This took out the love of reading for me. I didn't even care about the romance that will happen. From what I gathered online, this is extremely spicy and I don't really want to read that. He's going to stick up a candy cane in her, you know. So I don't want to read about that. I don't really care about that. I am not going to touch a Megan Quinn book again. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love this book. I don't know how you can like the main character. I cannot understand. She is such a whiny baby and such an awful person, at least in the beginning, okay? Someone please help Taryn, the other sister, because she needs to get away from there. Also, let me just tell you that Story, okay, the FMC, didn't have things to do. Her job was really laid back. She could do it by herself, not... I'm sorry, I'm getting too worked up. I am not recommending this. Please don't read it. Another book I got is A Merry Little Miss Cute, which is about a girl who is a porn star, I think. I don't know. It says a plus-size adult film star. Isn't that a porn star? I don't know, excuse me if I'm wrong, might be wrong. But then she gets cast in a Christmas movie and it writes right here, her career is about to take a more family-friendly direction. So I think I was right about the thing. The other actor is her childhood crush. That's basically the premise of the book. I heard this is very spicy. As of recently, after buying it, I am not really interested in it right now. I feel like this got me scared of spicy Christmas books and I am not trusting this to be good. Let me know if this is actually something I should read. And lastly, 'Tis the Season for Revenge. I had such high hopes for this book. I wanted to read it so much. I DNFed it at 40%. I just didn't care about those characters at all. It starts with this girl who is treated like shit by her boyfriend and he dumps her, so she decides to take revenge on him and date his boss. There's no problem, I liked the premise, okay? But then he hooks up with his boss in the same day they meet, which is completely fine once again. The problem is that this guy starts saying, "You're mine, mine. Mine, look at me, baby girl, good girl, mine," and so on and so forth, and it never stops, and you have all this coming in at you and you don't have any breaks, and I just didn't want to hear any more of it. It was really smutty for no reason. You barely know her, okay? You've known her for an hour or so. Like, why are you drooling and being head over heels over this girl? It makes no sense. And he's overly possessive, obviously. So there were too many tropes in like a little amount of time. I just didn't care. I don't think it was good written when it comes to the romance, so I just DNF'd it. I don't really recommend it. I'm sorry. I have other specifically Christmassy books I have on my TBR for this year or next year that I want to share with you, and one is Holiday Christmas. Yes, no, Holiday Romance. I keep butchering the name. Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh, which is a friends to lovers, very cozy, very wintry, and it's about these two, a girl and a guy, who spend their Christmas at his family house. They are friends and they become lovers, obviously. They get stranded, a thing happens with their plane and they get stranded. Very cozy, very nice from what I gathered. I just got interested. And the thing is, If you read this one, there is another book that has some cameos, I think, and that's snowed in by the same author. And this is the one I really want to read. It's a fake dating, okay? Whenever we have a fake dating, I need to read it. They meet by chance, and they both hate having to go at home for their Christmas, parties with their parents, so they decide to fake date so they can get over it. So I am sold. I'm sorry, I need to read that immediately. Another book I have on my TBR is The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score, and in this book we have an enemies to lovers. A small town gets hit by a hurricane, and Kat and Noah, among others, help to restore the town, and they don't really like each other. That's basically the premise. It sounds nice, and the book cover made me interested. I don't know why. It just caught my attention, so I want to read this one. We have a thriller wintry book, and it's Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Finney. It's about this married couple that has some problems, and they win a holiday in a remote cabin, and when they get there, something happens. They get stranded, I think, and one of them is lying, so I don't know, everyone loves this book. I bought it, want to read it as soon as possible. It's supposed to be really eerie and spooky, so I want to read this. The next one is Frost, and I don't know much about this one apart from the fact that we have Faze. This girl is a Faze. She gets cheated on, then she's bitter and sad and wants a rebound, and somehow she ends up in these trials. For what? I don't know. But they are deadly trials, and she can win a lot of money at the end. How does that, mix one with the other? What's the premise? I don't really understand. Though it still sounds interesting. So, I have this on my TBR even though I don't really understand what it is about. And the very last one I have on my TBR is A Winter's Promise. This book is so unique. The setting and the world is so different than anything else I've heard about. So we have multiple different floating celestial islands called arcs, I think. Let me check. Yeah, arcs, and they work differently. And then there's this girl, Ophelia, that has certain powers, like going through mirrors and being able to communicate with objects that have souls. But she needs to hide this. And then she is promised by her family to this really powerful guy and hunter or something like that, which lives on a different arc, so she needs to get there, and I don't know what's going on, but I'm really intrigued, and it sounds so unique. I need to read this book. Now, I do have some books I will not read ever, honestly, and first and foremost, anything by Megan Quinn. I'm sorry, I'm not singling out the author. It's not, I don't feel like her writing style is bad. I have a really big fat hatred for story, and I just don't want to get that anymore. So I will just avoid it altogether. Also, I'm not expecting because I'm not gonna read it. It's very spicy, and the other book she has is, how is it called? Let me check. Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. So I don't think I'm gonna like that book. Also, I'm not gonna read Cinnamon Rolls at Sunrise, A Christmas Tree Farm, or The Gingerbread Bakery, because I forgot the name, the very autumny one, the fall one, and I didn't like it, and I just don't want to waste my time, so I won't read those either. I think I've been searching for Christmas book recs without double checking the spice or the story, because I like to go blind into them, and sometimes that doesn't really work to my advantage. I want to get back into reading with Six of Crows. That's what I'm gonna read. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next Bookmas video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video. And if you have any book recs I absolutely need, please feel free to bombard my comment section, okay? Because I need the recs, okay? Okay, thank you.